It is time to explore new avenues of growth. Okay, so you are going to initiate this by stepping into interdependence. Okay, a lot of you are coming out of the energy of codependence, which is where you are relying solely on another person or another thing, like just dependent on another person for self-security. Okay, as you are healing your insecurities, you're going to learn interdependence, which is mutual dependence. Rather than one person depending on another, it's that other person not having to depend on them. It's like, not having to depend on someone, but being mutually, like having a mutual dependence, a mutual connection, a mutual understanding between one another, so that you both can pull back into your individuality whenever needed. What's the 411? There's a lot of people going through an identity crisis. Okay, I myself am going through a lot of soul searching right now, where it's like I can no longer identify with certain things that were projected onto me, certain things that I was absorbing, and certain things that I was projecting from my own insecurities. I no longer want to, and I no longer need to identify with those things. I know that it's time to change. And it's a very radical moment when you come into realization that you are changing and that you are more accepting to change than you once was in the past. So give yourself room and space to gravitate into what gravitates to you. There's a lot of magnetic energy. Okay, I am that I am. I got this in the background. I've been seeing 69 a lot, also 369. Some of you are stepping into the energy of high vibrational magnetism. And just as somebody was, they're building something, he was drilling it. Something is being like drilled into your head, some type of concept, okay? Or there was something or some type of vision that was constantly like drilled into your programming. Okay, I feel like a lot of you are like uprooting and unscrewing a lot of loose screws, okay, and tightening volts of electric thoughts and electric ideas and personas that are in alignment with your true authenticity. And this is happening because your social cognition is upgrading. So this is the processes that enable human beings to interpret social information and behave appropriately in a social environment, okay? Some of you may have social anxiety, okay? And this may be why you are prone to lying to kick it, trying to be someone you're not just to be accepted or just to fit in. Okay, you have to become comfortable with not being accepted or not fitting in. Okay, you have to become comfortable with initiating your own imprint, your own footprint in the world, taking up space as your true authentic self. And to do this, you got to get in alignment with your inner child. Your inner child is always speaking to you. Those things that you were naturally drawn to, those artistic crafts, those sports, those interests, those studies that you are naturally drawn to, this is where your personality is, and this is what's going to help you to step forth into your personality and bring forth all the brilliance and give birth to the brilliance that's within you. And if you don't see it, just know it's in there. You just got to tap in. A great question to ask yourself right now is, how reliant or dependent are you on others for their approval or validation? This is going to determine how secure you can stand on your own standards, okay? Because, standing on business, standing on your standards, you're going to be tested with this, okay? Are you going to stick to yourself? Are you going to stick to your standards, okay? Are you going to stay true to you? Or are you going to fold under the pressure of other people's validation and approval to fit into their conceptions of like who you should be and who you should present yourself as? Or are you going to stand strong in who you know yourself to be? Know thyself. And to know thyself, you got to be able to be on an intimate connection with yourself every day. Okay, build the companionship you have with yourself before you go looking for it outside of yourself. I just seen 404. Some of you might be seeing 404, 101, 202, 303, 606. I just seen 411. What's the 411? I'm getting something about, some of you may live a double life, or you have lived a double life. Okay, I'm getting something about a dynamic duo. I'm getting something about duality. Okay, there's always a double side to things. There's always another side to the story. I feel like, a lot of you are seeing the flip side to things. A lot of you are seeing just another viewpoint of things. All right, especially if you're used to always operating in your left brain, you're now going to be activating that right side of your brain. If you're always used to operating in your right side of your brain, you're going to be operating in your left side of the brain. 444 when I stop the time. The left side of the brain is the logical, the analytical side, okay? And the right side of the brain is the creative and the intuitive, okay? And then you think the right side is more of the masculine, but it's that blend of masculine and feminine energy that you tap into, okay? This is how you're tapping into your originality, okay? So when you can tap into that right side of the brain, that masculine side, and get that masculine energy aligned with your creative and intuitive abilities, and then when you can tap into that feminine side and get that feminine energy aligned with your analytical and logical abilities, you become the most powerful version of yourself. This is how you step into your own power, by accepting your originality, by stepping into your authenticity unapologetically. Be yourself. The best person you can ever be, or the best thing you can ever do for this world, is to be yourself, and thoroughly. I'm getting something about twins too, okay? Some of y'all might have twins, okay? You might have a lot of twins in your family. You might have a lot of twins, you know? And this thing about twin flames, like I had a theory, okay? A little theoretical thing that I was thinking about. You know, I feel like they said there's always somebody out there that is just like you, okay? And it's like, you know, in order for you to attract your tribe, you gotta vibe in the correct vibe, okay? You can't fake the funk, you can't fake the vibes. You're gonna keep attracting fake motherfuckers if you fake the vibe. All right, so if you want more real people in your life, if you want more true and authentic situations and circumstances that are aligned with your highest wishes and desires, then you got to step into that vibe. You got to be authentic, okay? Some of you, it's like you have multiple expressions of your soul, or if you were only used to expressing yourself one way, let's say you like to draw, but you want to play the saxophone too, or you want to know how to ice skate too, you need to like start stepping into that. That's what I'm saying. Create those milestones so that you can reach your goal, okay? Create those milestones that are gonna, you know, make you become aware of what stepping stones it is that you need to take your stance on, okay? Be strong and be dignified in the direction that you are being guided, okay? You always have to tap into yourself before you go out into the world looking for guidance. Make sure that you're tapping in within. A good question to ask yourself right now is, what mask do I wear? Which mask do you wear and why? Okay, see, you know, wearing a mask is like, you know, cloaking your identity. Okay, why do you feel the need to cloak your identity? Because you feel you won't be accepted, because you feel you'll be ridiculed, because it's happened to you in your past, because you haven't fully accepted your personality traits, because you're goofy but you work in a serious environment, so you always feel stifled. It's like, ask yourself this: what mask are you wearing, and why are you doing this? Okay, some of you might be dealing with attachment insecurity and attachment anxiety, okay, or some borderline personality disorders, and this is because you kind of are uncommon. You have uncommon characteristics, okay? You're very eccentric, groovy, punctual, original, wise, suave, okay, or suave, okay? You're real smooth, okay? Your gestures, your mannerisms, they're real different, okay? And you just got to tap into this. And I don't even really feel like it's more of a disorder. Some of you are beings of chaos, okay? So the chaos within yourself can bring harmony to a lot of karma and dharma in this world in some way, some sense. And then the theory that I'm getting back to with the twins, like, you know how the twin towers were blown up? I feel like, you know, symbolically that was like to disrupt the duality of nature. You know what I'm saying? Between like these twin flames, like these twin souls, like the twin identities, you know, and the unison within self. You know what I'm saying? You got two sides of yourself. When you're born, you're two different cells, and they come together and they form you. Okay, so I feel like that there's some type of disruption in that is being obstructed. The disruption of originality, of duality, is being obstructed as we come back into wholeness, as we come back into fullness of ourself. Tap in. I am that I am, okay? And this is the interpersonal growth, okay? So be aware of your behaviors and your tactics, and, you know, how you are communicating and socializing with others. This is going to help you to grow. See, you know, I like to spend a lot of time by myself, but I'm like, dang, the only way I know that I'm learning and growing is when I interact with other people. So you can't always stay in your shell, and that's the duality of this Gemini Sagittarius, the Sagittarius season 9/11. Some of you, you're emerging out of your shell, out of your shadow into light, okay? But you have to take your shadow with you, okay? The shadow and the light have to reside with one another, and they do constantly. It's a continual effort. It's a continual growth. All right, some of you, you're truly shining, or you're going to be shining more than ever, and you cannot be afraid of your own light. You cannot be afraid of your own shadow. You must come into radical self-acceptance. This is going to propel you into your highest wishes, your highest timelines, your highest abilities. You are more capable than you know. And the more that you believe in yourself, and the more that you learn yourself and you develop your character, the more that you are just going to love who you are. And the more that you love who you are, the more that you love life, the more that you are grateful. Message from the Most High.